the Bruins aced the NHL draft and then days later, hours later, flunked the first day of free agency. Yesterday was one of the most confusing days I've had in a long time. And if you've watched this show, you could realize I get confused pretty easily. It was nauseating, infuriating. Like, what on earth are the Boston Bruins doing? They technically made a ton of moves. They went out and they acquired, between their AHL guys, trades, and NHL free agent signings, they acquired almost 10 guys. But here's the guys they actually went out and signed on day one of free agency: Alex Steeves, Matej Blumel, Michael Eyssimont, Sean Corrali, remember that name, and Tanner Jeannot. Bam. The Bruins went out there in a year where they really need to get more scoring and get more offensive talent. They went out and got 3 guys. I'll include Victor Arvidsson in this, who they traded for early in the day and took all of the cap hit. So for Victor Arvidsson, Sean Corrali, and Tanner Jeannot, they went out and they got 57 points. In an offseason where they are desperate to add offense, to add goals, the trio of Arvidsson, Corrali, and Jeannot add 57 points from last year and 28 goals, which with their salaries average out to about $342,000 per goal that they score. That is the strategy. That is the chess that Don Sweeney is playing. They go from a day on Friday night where James Higgins falls into their lap at number 7. And it's the most unified, in a good way, the most unified the Bruins fan base has been in a long time. And as if that is too much for them to handle, just 3-4 days later, they're bidding against nobody. This Tanner Jeannot deal is a train wreck. It's an absolute disaster. And if anyone is saying otherwise, they don't know this sport. If I have to see one more person say, oh, he's the perfect Bruin, oh, the Bruins really needed to get tougher, I'm going to gouge my own eyes out. How do they need to get tougher? They were second in the league in fights last year. They were 28th in goals. They finished 15th in the Eastern Conference. In a sport where you need more goals than the other team to win games, and people are telling me they need this guy. They need to get tougher. I like the Tanner Jeannot signing. How can you? How do you watch that team last year? How do you go through 82 games of them getting their shit rocked on the scoreboard? How do you watch that team for months on end and see how many countless times they go through an entire period of NHL hockey without even putting a shot on net and say, that team needs to get tougher. That team needs another grinder in there. How do you see that with your own 2 eyes and come to that conclusion? And are you working for Don Sweeney if that's the case? It makes no sense. Every team in the league is getting more skilled, is getting more offensive talent, and getting better. Don Sweeney and Cam Neely thinks it's 1990 all over again. And you just need to get bigger and slower and throw more body checks out there. And I swear to God, if one more person tells me about how tough the Florida Panthers are and that the Bruins are trying to become them, I'm going to lose it. I haven't lost it already, but if I hear that one more time, I'm going to lose it. The Florida Panthers are tough. You know what else makes them really tough? They're very good. They're very skilled. They score more than the other teams. And yet we're trying to compare these two by saying that the Bruins are getting more like the Florida Panthers because they got Tanner Jeannot on a 5-year deal? Yes, the Panthers are tough. But you know what else they have is plenty and plenty of skill. 3 and 4 lines of skill. Matthew Tkachuk, Sasha Barkov, Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart, Brad Marchand. Those guys are good at hockey. They put the puck in the net. You do not. Okay, yes, I know Sam Bennett is tough. He also scored 15 goals in the postseason. And I've got Bruins fans telling me they need to get tougher? Like, what is the sport that you're watching? Oh, it's not all about goals. Actually, when you break it down, it kind of fucking is. You need to score more goals than the other team. That's how you win hockey games. The Bruins did not score goals last year. They were about as bad as anybody in the National Hockey League at scoring goals, and they lost a lot of games. They finished above Philadelphia by like a hair of a point to not be in last place in the Eastern Conference. And you are telling me they need to get tougher. Have we all lost it here? Have we all lost what the point of this game is? And again, just, oh, he's the perfect Bruin. This guy's going to fit right in with the Bruins. How and why? Why do we want him to fit in with the Bruins with that play style? He's no good. Maybe that's why the Bruins have won one cup in 50 years, because everybody tells you, oh, man, that guy's a Bruin. He can't etch out 15 points in a National Hockey League season, but they're going to love him. He's going to fit right in. Maybe he will. Maybe he will fit right in because this team doesn't score. And when you needed to go out and probably get somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 60 goals in this free agency period, you got 28. 28, baby. And I mean, look at this projection here. This is the cap space and the Bruins projected lines for next year. They went out yesterday, day one of free agency, and got 4 guys, 4 forwards who are going to fit into their lineup. And none of them are top 6. They traded for one that's a second liner that wouldn't be a second liner for anybody else in the league, Victor Arvidsson. And then Tanner Jeannot, Michael Eyssimont, and Mark Kastelik, or excuse me, not Mark Kastelik, Sean Corrali, former Bruin great, Sean Corrali. God, so glad we could bring him back. None of them are going to factor into the top 6. None of them. And again, I got the Bruins social media team being like, Corrali's coming back. Remember when he scored that goal 6 fucking years ago? He's a career minus 50. And I've got Bruins fans celebrating that Sean Corrali is back. The Corral leap. What the fuck, man? How are you excited about this? And again, the Bruins, this is the thing that's completely rudderless, completely directionless. You went out and you extended a bunch of your AHL guys, right? The ones who you have yet to give a shot to in the NHL. Fabian Lysell and Georgi Merkulov and Michael DiPietro, and you extend them. You don't give them a shot in the NHL and you extend them. And then you're thinking, okay, this is the year they tank. These guys are going to get plenty more opportunities for the big club. No, then you go out and you sign more fourth liners. And I've got people telling me the direction is clearly the tank. Okay, I'm actually okay with that. If you want to tank, that's fine. Next year is supposed to be a really good draft. Obviously, Gavin McKenna at the top. It's a great free agency class next year. If you want to tank, that's one thing. This is not tanking. You do not give out 5-year contracts to career fourth liners when you're tanking. You don't give out a 5-year contract to anybody when you're tanking. You're just making yourself a little bit worse and handing out multi-year contracts to fourth line guys. You could have got Brock Besser for $7.25 million a year. And he's going to give you 25 goals. Instead, you paid about $8 million, all locked in past 1 year for 28 goals. Now here's the depth chart. Now you're keeping your AHL guys in the AHL by making these signings. Now you keep Fraser Minten down. You keep Fabian Lysell down. You keep Georgi Merkulov down. You keep DiPietro down. Like, it's not making any sense. All the analysts will tell you the Bruins really won the day in worst free agent signing. It was Cody Ceci and it was Tanner Jeannot. Okay? Cody Ceci going out to LA and Tanner Jeannot to Boston. Pretty much all the outlets will tell you that Tanner Jeannot was the worst, if not the second worst free agent signing of the day across the entire NHL. Had one season where he was worth half a damn. and it was 3 years ago. Here's what Don Sweeney had to say about his marquee signing on day one of NHL free agency.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he popped, a few years ago. He's had some injuries since then that have, probably derailed a little bit in that regard. I don't know if he's getting back to scoring 27 goals. I sure hope so. Deep down, we believe he'll bring a lot more energy to our group that we need. The physicality is there. We run through a tough division. I just think everybody gets a little taller. I think if we fast forward, what we've tried to do from a draft perspective, an eye towards that as well. And
this is what Don Sweeney says about his marquee 5-year signing. Is he going to score 27 goals again? I don't know. I sure hope so. Does that sound like a guy you just gave a 5-year contract to? Are you kidding me with that? And all I hear Don Sweeney, a hockey guy, played 1,000 games in the NHL, and he went to Harvard, and yet he cannot explain to you in a real sentence why they signed this stiff. He has no idea. Like, he can't even articulate a sentence that makes sense. Maybe we're just all too dumb. Don Sweeney is too smart. The Harvard guys understand what he's talking about. But you gave a 5-year contract worth $17 million to a guy who has one season over 20 points. And all you say is, we run through a tough division. Everybody gets taller. Whatever the fuck that means. Is he going to score 27 goals again? I don't know. Hopefully. I'll spoil it for you, Don. He's not. Okay? Because in 21-22, when he did that, when he scored 27 goals and scored 41 points, that was the apex. He's not going to score 27 goals again because in 198 games since that 27-goal season, he has amassed 26 goals in nearly 200 games since then. He's a stiff. He's a bender. He's a fourth-line scrub. But damned if he's not going to get in some fights. Again, the Bruins were second in the league in fights last year, and you saw where it got them. And you're going to raise ticket prices. You expect us to spend $100 just to get in the building to see a Tanner Jeannot fight and they lose 5-1? You can watch them on YouTube. It's free. Crazy, I know. But you're either spending $100 to get in the building or you're spending $30 a month on Nesson to see Tanner Jeannot get into a fight as the Bruins get their ass kicked for 82 games. It's actually incredible. It's truly incredible. If you include all the guys they signed yesterday, which does include, if you include all the free agents they signed yesterday, for the length of their contracts, you're giving them $25 million for their 24 goals they scored last year. The Bruins are not going anywhere, and they're not even tanking right. Like this isn't how you tank. You don't give out 5-year contracts to fourth liners. It's the definition of insanity. The last couple of years, they've been trying to get bigger, slower, stronger, and it doesn't work. And so Don Sweeney goes back to the well and says, you know what? We'll just do it again. We'll just do it again. It's freaking incredible, man. Like they have no idea what's going on in this league. It's mind-boggling. Just Tanner Jeannot, 5-year deal. Like, you're not even bidding against anybody. Like this is the Don Sweeney way, just bidding against absolutely nobody. He did the Oilers a massive favor by taking Victor Arvidsson off their hands, sending a pick in return, and taking all of his salary. Like hours after the Oilers paid Evan Bouchard $10.5 million a year, the Bruins just take Victor Arvidsson's cap hit right off their hands. For what? What, are they going to scratch your back? They were dead in the water. The Sharks were circling them, and you blew all the Sharks' heads off for no reason. Like, for nothing. Like, it's, if you don't laugh, you'll cry, man. It's just, what in the hell are they doing? Please, somebody explain to me what they are doing. And if I have to hear, if you're going to do the comment of they need to get tougher because the Panthers are tougher, just fuck right off, man. Like, the Panthers score goals. They win games. They have Hall of Famers. The Bruins have Tanner Jeannot and Sean Corrali. God, I'm so glad Sean Corrali is back. Oh my God. Big losers of the day. Yours, mine, our Boston Bruins. Let me know what you think about Bruins free agency in the comment section below. Let me know what you love about it, what you hate about it. If you want Don Sweeney fired, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Only about 5% of you watching are actually subscribed. And our numbers have been busting the last week and a half, talking a lot of Bruins hockey. So subscribe, because we come to you live on YouTube, high noon Eastern time, every weekday. And then we're available wherever you get your podcasts as well. I'm your host, Cam Stuart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air. Check out the other videos on YouTube, Talking Bruins, and everything else Boston sports.